Welcome, Starcraft friends from around the world. Thank you for joining us tonight for what is going to be the winners finals here between Solar and Darka ZVZ, a best of 7. You'll be spending it with me, Valdez, and Wolf.
Yeah, it's going to be a long ZVZ series. At least some fans are hoping so. I think Dark is the favorite tonight, but Solar has shown us some incredible ZVZs in the past, and this series could essentially go either way. But of course, the loser will have a second chance in the losers finals versus Stats. The winner will go directly to the grand finals. So that's coming up all very soon. Just taking a look at what best ofs we have here. This is a best of 7. The finals is a best of 7. The losers finals is a best of 7. Everything from here out is a best of 7. It wasn't before. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's basically what we have for you guys. And we'll get a short look at the brackets too. But if you're paying attention to this tournament, once again, thank you for following this. I know it's not on Twitch, but it's on YouTube. It's on Ding It. You can find it other places, and you're here for a treat of some great StarCraft, a Zerg vs. Zerg today, and then a ZVP, and then hopefully a PvZ for the finals. That would make it, I think, a little bit more interesting. But if they do match up again in the finals, that would be fun too. Yeah,
they'd have a rematch, so that will be potentially exciting as well. But taking a look at this entire bracket, I mean, it tells the whole story, just not in English. So if you want to check that out, go to Wikipedia, and you'll find that information there. But it's been a long and great tournament. The keyword is Zerg.
There it is, guys. We finally have the reveal for you. I can't help but think that's because we have 2 Zergs here in the winners finals, but who knows? It could be something else.
It could be. It could be that Mana was complaining on the forums or something, and there was a big outrage, and Liquid Noni had to get involved.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, well, everyone's talking about Zerg now. Here's Solar. Okay, so he's got a pretty impressive last 5 games, but most of them against Speed in the GSL round of 32, where he actually ended up beating him there. He lost, or rather played against Curious in Pro League and won against him. Wasn't enough to get Samsung to the playoffs, though. Yeah, also defeated, it looks like Biel, or maybe that was a Ragnarok up there. Yeah, he definitely did defeat Ragnarok, but here is Dark on the other side of things, undefeated so far against Zerg. Yeah. Did play against Alive, had 1 game against Biel, and had 2 wins against Lucera, too. Look at his win rate. It's 86%. He's like 9-1 versus Pros. He won against basically only Pros to get here, but he also has a 3-0 versus Zerg, and he's 6-2 versus Terran. So yeah, a lot of people are saying this guy might be the best player in the world, not even just the best Zerg, but that will be proven tonight. Here's our map list. Dust Towers, Ruins of Ceres, Olrena, Prion, Laralag, Orbital, and then Central Protocol, should we get to a 7th game here in the ZVZ. Yeah, that would be pretty sick if it does get all the way, but going into predictions, we're going to have a bit of time before we start up this match. What are you thinking, Wolf? I'm thinking 4-1 or 4-2 Dark. Yeah, I would agree with you. That's what I said before. We're on the same page, but let's take a look at their interview before we get into the games.
치킨 티켓을 줄 사람이잖아요. 노출된 것도 많고 쓴 것도 많고 해서 오히려 저는 더 쉬울 것 같아요.
아직 제가 숨겨둔 빌드가 한 200개 정도 있는 것 같아서 전혀 신경 쓰지 않고요. 박명호 선수는 동족전이 워낙 약하신 이미지로 저는 알고 있거든요. 그래서 충분히 제가 이길 수 있지 않을까 싶어요.
특히 민수는 동족전만 잘하지 다른 건 못하거든요. 민수니까 쉽게 이길 것 같아요. 민수가 약간 이미지가 돌이잖아요.
신임호 선수도 똑같은 말 했거든요. 뭐 부셔버리겠다. 한지원 선수도 그랬고 그러다 그냥 처참히 짓밟 피셨는데 그냥 우승한 사람이랑 약간 우승 못 해본 사람이랑 클래스 차이를 느끼게 해주려고요.
그냥 어디서 해외에서 우승한 거 가지고 와서 디스하는 게 좀 어이가 없네요.
밥 먹고 자는 시간 빼고는 다 연습에 투자해야 된다고 생각해서 그렇게 할 생각이에요.
저는 딱 4판만 연습하고 오면 이길 것 같아요.
이래놓고 뭐 한 400판 정도 할 거 알고 있고 근데 실력 차이가 좀 있으니까 4대0이나 4대1?
저는 딱 4판만 준비해와서 4대0으로 쉽게 전승으로 결승 진출하려고요.
SK 윤수 형이 저한테 전승 준성 달성하셨거든요. 후계자로서 달성해야 되지 않을까 싶어요.
넌 열심히 해서 별로 안 나오는 선수고 난 열심히 해서 잘 나오는 선수라 생각해.
저희는 이제 노열이 형 이후로 한 번도 결승 진출을 해본 적이 없어서 팬들이랑 팀원들이랑 한번 여행 결승 가봐야 돼서 제가 올라가야 될 것 같아요.
신노열 선수 이후로 결승에 간 적이 없다고 하는데 그건 뭐 내가 신경 쓸 게 아닌 것 같고 입만이 아닌 행동으로 좀 보여줘야 될 것 같아서 되게 간절하다.
왜 콩라인인지 알게 형이 스스로 알게 해드릴게요 제가.
모든 게 내 머릿속에 있었어. 그러니까 너도 내 손바닥에서 놀다가 패자조 가서 다시 어떻게 올라오든가 아니면 거기서 떨어지든가 이렇게 열심히 해봐라 거기서.
Well, there you have it, guys. I know that it was all in Korean, but some heavy words being thrown back and forth. Dark looking pretty cocky, pretty confident, and Solar's like, no, I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to defeat you.
Yeah. Everyone, basically, Dark's like, everyone said you're easy. I know you're easy. I'm going to beat you really easily. And Solar was basically just like, all my past opponents were saying that. Everyone said they could beat me easily, and I beat them. I'm here like all the way in the winners finals, so take me seriously. So both of them really just trash talking each other. Dark basically saying he didn't even practice that much. He's going to take it easily. He thinks it's going to be a 4-0.
Yeah, Solar says 4-0, 4-1, but he also said that he had like 200 builds that he hadn't shown yet.
Yeah,
or
he's like,
something
yeah, I have
that.
about
I'm
like
what?
200 builds I haven't shown yet. I'm like, well, that's just not possible. But
what he's trying to say is that he has a lot more to show. And that's, I mean, he can't really hold back. This is the time. He wants to send Dark down there, the stats, so he has to, you know, play another best of 7 and hopefully drop out, because I think Solar is a bit more comfortable against stats, to be honest.
I think every Zerg is more comfortable in scats. I think both players are not as worried tonight because I think they both have the confidence that they will beat stats in the losers finals if they fall down.
I feel that a bit too.
Yeah, so especially in that interview, I could see like both players are insanely confident. I think they're just kind of like letting it all out, like, okay, this isn't the real ZVZ. No matter what happens today, like, it'll be easier because I don't have to play against stats. But in the real finals we're going to, you know, it's going to be, that's the ZVZ you have to worry about. That's the one you get nervous for. But stats, of course, is watching and preparing for that PVZ because he's going to only focus on one matchup for the rest of this tournament. A lot of fans are hoping that he does take that losers match final, so we don't have a ZVZ final, but I'm happy with either.
Yeah, I'd be happy with either. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if Stats can get some good practice versus Zergs. I think he's going to have to go abroad to some other teams. I mean, he doesn't have too much. He's got Lenok and Losir on his team, who are decent Zergs, but I think against both Solar and Dark, they just do not compare. So I think both of these two Zergs today know that as well, and that may lead to some of their confidence against Stats.
Absolutely. Here's a shot of Solar here in the booth. Is a DreamHack champion, as you guys can see. He's traveled abroad to many tournaments. He's very famous for playing online cups. This is his single best individual performance in Korea in a Star League we have ever had for him. This is the furthest he's ever gone.
Yeah.
And it could be a Royal Rotor if he wins this tournament.
Could be. And these guys are obviously very close. They're chatting unbelievable amounts before the games. They even said, they echoed what we were saying before. They're like, whoever wins today, it doesn't matter. Let's see each other in the finals, you know? And they're both like, yeah, let's see each other in the finals. So both very confident, close guys. It's going to be an interesting series just because they definitely know the way they play against each other. They probably practiced together before if they're this close. I'm really excited for this one, Wolf.
Yeah, me too. I still stand by, I think Dark's going to take it, though. He looks much more confident to me, sound more confident in the interview. And I think Dark is one of the best players in the world right now, if not the best player. And I know a lot of people are echoing that sentiment, but I believe that. And it's like you were saying, the prophecy of what you made like in 2014 and 2015 early times about Dark becoming one of the best Zergs in the world has finally come true.
Yeah, it took him a bit. It took him like a year. He had some consistent play. He was defeating Maru in playoffs and stuff like that. But now it's where it's like, oh my God, this guy really is the best player. At least top 3, top 5. He's up there, guys. And that's why I definitely do agree with you that he is the favorite coming into this series up against Solar. Although Solar at the beginning of Legacy of the Void as well was one of those guys that everybody was saying was really quite strong. One of the best Zergs out here in Korea.
Definitely so. There's a lot of fans for both players here. Guys, the first map is going to be Dust Towers. It is up and loaded. Let's jump into it right here, right now. The Star League Season 1 Winners Finals.
Here we are on Dusk Towers, the first map of our best of 7 and of the night. And up here in the top right in the red from Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Solar.
he is. And his opponent to the bottom of the map in blue. It is Dark.
Seems to have some more fans here in the studio.
Yeah. Just to be a greedy build from both players, the rush distance on this map is quite far, and this may be one of our longer ZVZs, although we are going into Ruins of Ceres as our second map, so the first two games will definitely have the potential for the longest games. That's a really cool fan portrait there. Legacy of the Emperor.
Huh.
It's all about today as well, like that. It even had today's match on it, so it's not like an old thing that was made for him. A lot of Dark fans here.
Yeah, talking about the map pool a bit, we were looking at that. You were saying Dust Towers into Ruins of Ceres, and then it goes Alrena into Prion Terraces. So looks to be two more macro-oriented maps, two longer games, as long as these guys don't try to play against the map and try to outplay their opponent. You do kind of like a counter build, go for a build order win, anything like that. Should be two longer games into two faster pace games, shorter rush distances, interesting features on the map. You know, Prion Terraces, you have the gold base at your natural and another one pretty close by. And on Alrena, of course, the very close rush distance by both air and ground.
Yeah, I think the series is going to start off slow and then speed up really fast based on the map pool that we have. So getting the momentum on these tougher maps is really important because you can get a mental edge on your opponent going into a map where a build or a win could actually win you that third game and then potentially the fourth game. But in this game, we do see a Baneling Nest coming up first here for Dark, a little bit safer. Team Liquid fan in the audience. That's the original Team Liquid shirt, by the way, down there.
He's a real fan,
that's an old fan, yeah. I mean, not like you're that old. I mean, you look really young. I'm just saying, like, you've been following Starcraft.
It's okay.
For a
He
while.
didn't have the headphone bud in his ear. It's okay.
It's all right. Fast lair for Solar, actually. He's skipping the safety tech, and he's going to scout in here. We'll see the Baneling Nest as well as just the one gas here.
It's a pretty huge scout for Solar, you know, with the slow lings coming in here. Dark does not defend it, and he's going to be able to get up some defenses here, even though he was going for a greedy build. And if he can hold, he's going to be ahead in tech. He's going to have that lair out. He did skip the speed, so he's going to be foregoing any kind of map presence for a while here.
And Dark doesn't have any info, and he won't get any. These lings have speed, but so what? The only information they get is that he doesn't have a third base. But he has no idea what's going on in the base. That Baneling Nest is being used purely defensively here. So right now, Solar is getting a much faster tech here. He has that safety spine crawler. He does have his third and fourth gases finishing up right now, so ingest them, or actually second and third. He didn't get the fourth, but he's going to get that Spire immediately. There's the fourth gas, and he will have Mutalisk very quickly control the map with. I think Dark is going to have to figure this out very soon and perhaps even punish with a Roach push or something, because he's going to find himself very behind very quickly if he does not. He keeps making defensive Banelings. He's playing too defensively here.
Yeah, just sitting back for now, just making a bunch of army units, sitting at 32 drones, so being very safe, very calm, getting the lair later. And as you said, he has no idea what's going on in the base of Solar. He hasn't been able to get up that ramp. I mean, at this point, he can assume that some kind of tech is coming out here. He hasn't seen any roaches coming out. He hasn't seen any third base, obviously. So he needs to prepare for this.
It's going to be a hidden tech, actually, after the Spire, it looks like, for Solar. He did make that one drop Overlord. You've seen this in ZVZ on this map before where you hide your Spire, but his Spire's already done, so I'm really curious what he's going to be hiding here. He could be making a hidden hatchery as well, I suppose. Totally possible.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's what he's going to do. Gold base taken.
Yeah, and Dark, I mean, I have to wonder, he has no Overlords over there. I wonder if he's even thinking about this on this map. It's not too common. I haven't seen it too much in ZVZ and in other matches with matchups with Zerg. And, you know, Dark, he's scouting for that third base, and I feel like he's getting a bit confused here.
This Overseer is just long overdue, but with such a slow lair with all the safety put on early in the game, this is about as fast as he can get a scout off. So this scout is going to come in the main base. He's not even going to see the Mutalisk right away. He's going to see them. Okay, now he sees it. And now he's going to have to respond, and I wonder what he's going to do here. He has a Roach War and he has a lair, and he's going for Infestors, in fact, so he knows what's up.
Yeah, dropping 4 emergency spores, trying to get them down as soon as possible. He's buying a ton of time with that Overseer, in fact. He's just staying back for a very long time, just trying to defend and clean up the lings out on the map. And so by the time the Mutas get to Dark space, he will have 4 Spore Crawlers up.
Yeah, and Dark, is very well set up for the Solar. Will need to find some damage because his third base, even though it's going to be a gold, is very late. He will get a fourth base here, which, unbeknownst to Dark, will actually be a fourth base. He actually thinks it's going to be a third base season, so Dark may just sit back and go, oh, I'm way ahead, whereas meanwhile Solar is slow Overlord ferrying 8 more drones over to that gold base. So this is a really interesting game, a very passive one, but that's kind of how ZVZ ends up on this map because it's so big.
Yeah, very hard to punish your opponent. That is why Solar is going for this kind of crazy build, this hidden base. Does have the rocks to protect, of course, but if you can drop, you can just go behind them, and it's very hard to get into that base, obviously, as the aggressor. And
we do have a Hive on the way here for Dark, as well as Pathogen Glands for his Infestors. You might see him try to rush out even some Vipers here to help deal with a larger Mutalisk count if you think that's what he's up against. But he's like rushing out all the tech, but the Mutalisk gives Solar such a great opportunity to deny scouting. Look at he's spreading his Mutalisk all across the map to make sure no Overlords can come and see that he has that hidden base. I really like how he's playing this.
Yeah, a very well-prepared build. He said it before, he had over 200 builds prepared and ready that he had not shown yet, and I suppose this is one of the 200 or more, as Solar does have. There is one Overlord on the right side. Maybe eventually Dark can sneak that in, but it is a slow Overlord.
Ooh. And sorry to cut you off there. I was just scared those Amutas were going to overextend into that Infestor. But yeah, that is an Overlord out there. I think it's actually an Overlord and not an Overseer, so he's going to have to morph that if he wants it. 2 Vipers on the way for Dark here, as I was mentioning before, but also the Ultralisk Cavern. Adrenal Glands, the 1/1 upgrades for those Ultras and Lings. I believe he just canceled his attack upgrade, though.
No, he finishes that. Okay. Yeah, finishes that up. He's getting 1/1 on the way in preparation for this Ling Ultralisk style. He's got Vipers in the air. No doubt for some Parasitic Bomb against the Mutalisks here. And I wonder what kind of engagement Dark is going to be looking for, because he's made quite a bit of Queens as well. He's gone up to 7. Is he going to try to move those across? Is he going to try to Nidus at all? I mean, he has no vision out of the map. I suppose he'll just go for straight up Ultralisk Ling, Baneling, and just run across the map. But it's a very long map, and Solar already knows about these Ultralisks.
Yeah, he's actually going to go for a Greater Spire and Corruptor Tech instead. And you know, this can be very powerful as a late game tool because you can zone a lot with it. Ultralisk kind of get trapped by the Brewlings. They can't actually run through, and then eventually you kind of siege up and take the map. And I think Dark is under the impression that this is 3 base versus 3 base still, which is just not the case. It's 4 base versus 3 base plus gold minerals.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have any idea. He hasn't sent a single scout over there. If he knows, he's just letting it happen and he's not doing anything to overcome it. I mean, I suppose he's going for a 3 base kind of all-in style where he's not making any more drones, but he has already gone up to 65 drones and is finally going for that 4th base. But I think he wants to go for the attack as well here. He's made a lot of Ultras.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Dark keeps checking, or rather Solar keeps checking Dark's base with, he sent just 1 Mutalisk over, he sent an Overseer over earlier. He knows 100% what he's up against. He just needs to buy more time to get his Broodlords out. And he's making a ton of Spines right now at the front of his base. He already has 3, he's going up to 6. That base up there, that gold, even if it was scouted, is totally safe up there. This Mutalisk is actually still harassing. Meanwhile, these Queens are coming up here aggressively to try to get into position to transfuse the Ultralisk. They have a lot of energy built up. 12 Broodlords being morphing, 13. He has so much money. And they're hidden still. Dark has no idea.
And Solar's bought so much time with just the way that he's played. Now he's getting a ton of Spine Crawlers out here. Even if he loses this base, it's fine. I don't think there's any way that Dark is going to be able to get up this ramp with this many Spine Crawlers and all the Broodlords popping out right now.
Oh, and if he gets caught here, these Ultras won't be able to retreat. He does need to run away right away, and that he does. Meanwhile, a huge Ling counterattack. I think you need to send those over there. I'm like, a huge Ling.
Go for the attack part of that. Yeah, here
there
we go.
A huge Ling go over and stare at the base attack. And now it's splitting into the natural, the main, and all 3 bases are under attack. Spire on the way for Dark just now. And that's going to be a bit too late, to put it very simply. A ton more Corruptors on the way. There's only 2 Vipers as well. So it's not like he's going to be pulling these into Queens or Parasitic bombing them to death.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to go around the Broodlords of Solar and somehow go for some kind of counterattack, force Solar out of position. But the Mutas are doing a good number, and Solar is not turning back.
Here they come. This base is toast. He's not even going to try to mine from him. He's just going to let it go. Here comes an attack with all these Spines and heavily upgraded Lings and Transfuses even on the defense. It's going to be very difficult to break through. Spines now being targeted actually onto the Ultralisk a little bit here. to help out. And here come those Broods. He's up 50 supply right now. Dark is just desperately trying to let that Spire finish and make the counter to this, but I don't think he has enough even room in his supply to make enough units to stop this.
Yeah, well, he's going to attempt to 10 Corruptors on the way, but look what Solar has in the air at the same time. He's got 11 Corruptors and 9 Mutalisks. I don't even think 10 Queens would help out Dark here. This may just be the end. I'm not sure how Dark is going to stop this one.
Well, all these expensive Ultras are getting caught here again, as I mentioned, by the Broodlords, which bug out the AI. Some Ultras have found their way into the natural here. But they will eventually be stopped. You can even make defensive Corruptors and Broodlords at home to help deal with this. A lot of Lings on the ground. He's going to try to basically base race him with this ground army. It is more mobile, arguably, than these Broodlords.
Yeah, and I suppose somehow, some way, if Solar does not send anything back to defend, I think Solar should send back his Mutas right now. He doesn't really need them here. Well, he is going to keep them for now.
Infested Terrans being part of the anti here. A big parasitic bomb going down onto all these Corruptors. Zergs aren't as used to splitting versus these.
Yeah, look at all the transfuses going down onto Dark's Corruptors. He's desperately trying to fight here.
I think he may actually have done it. I mean, nah, not quite. There's just too many
so
Broodlings on
close.
top of those Queens. Dark on rally, though, with these Corruptors. It's such a close fight. It looks like it's just barely not enough for Dark, or is it?
Oh, it's so close right now. They are nearly even in Corruptor number. Dark is ahead by 3, but they're not all grouped up. He's making 7 more.
Yeah,
Oh,
if he can actually win the Corruptor fight for 1 second, all the Broodlords are dead supply in the air. You know, his control in that fight was not the best either. There were a lot of Corruptors on move command, on rally. That Ultras has like 5 health, by the way. Again, another miss rally here on these Corruptors.
Yeah,
the health is better. The health is better.
He's got more Corruptors and better health, and he's going to be able to take out all the Corruptors of Solar, and all the Broodlords have no protection.
And this means he's down to 18 drones, and the only base he has left is that gold base. He's trying to actually kill as much as he can with these Broodlords before they go down, but I think that Dark may have just won this game. There goes the hatch, and the Ultralisk Cavern will follow. But what's he going to do? He has no economy.
Look at this. Hive goes down for Solar. Dark still got his. He's still got some tech, and he's going for 3 Mutas. That's all he's going to need here because there's no anti-air for Solar right now.
Yeah. And spawning pool being remade for Solar right now. He's got a few Lings going to try to kill this spawning pool. He can't even leave his base with the Lings he's making because the rocks are still up. He kills the Spire, but unless he kills that Hive and all the Extractors, he can never win a base trade. It's not going to happen.
And it turns out Solar does have some anti-air, but it's only 4 Corruptors. So unless he can somehow snipe these Mutas and go around the Corruptors, but Dark very smartly groups up his Corruptors with the Mutas and is going to escort them towards any kind of base. You can see that happening right now.
Corruptors can kill buildings too, don't forget. I know a lot of people aren't really keeping that in mind, so that's going to be a big deal here. Nice block on the ramp by Dark with these Roaches, buying some more time. He's trying to deal with these Lings because this is essentially a base trade right now. He's targeting down the Hive, and that's the most important structure right now, and he will kill it. Needs to go for the Extractor after that.
Oh, he's got to be able to get this Hive, and there you go. The Broodlings that come out are actually quite important to do some fighting here for Dark. He needs some more to attack these Lings, but all he's got is 2 Mutas in the sky.
6 drones left as well, you know. If he kills all the drones and he kills the Extractor, he's just going to, well, GG, he can't deal with it.
There it is.
There you have it. Well, that was a crazy game for many moments there. I wasn't sure who was going to take it, but it is Solar who eventually overpowers him there with all those Lings at the end. Forcing Dark into that massive Corruptor army and then just kind of saying, well, he can't kill Lings with that.
Yeah, it's almost like Dark just barely overmade Corruptors there. Everything just very quickly dissipated. Like everything just disappeared for both players very, very fast. But Solar with that 1 extra base, the 1 gold, kept him alive. Dark had no more mining. He had 15 Corruptors that essentially couldn't do anything. And I think at the end there, he knew that he couldn't quite deal with the Lings fast enough. That's all he had. And maybe he just knew that Solar had some other kind of production up because more units were coming out bit by bit. And he just decides to go for the early GG there.
That base was the only, I mean, that was the winning base since the beginning of the game for Solar. It was never scouted. And Dark, who wanted that 4-0, had that massive confidence, already finds himself down 0-1 in this CBZ.
Yeah, interesting spot for Dark, a guy who seemed to be very confident, cool, a bit cocky at times, but Solar comes out with a very nice build, very defensive play on that gigantic map, takes that gold base behind the rocks. I think Dark just had no idea, or if he did, he just chose not to deal with it because he couldn't. He wanted to hit some timing with his attack on the ground, but it just wasn't there.
No, it definitely was not.